Manx Radio Sports, brought to you by The Print Shed. Visit theprintshediom.com today to set up your personalised web shop for your sports club or business.
Friday evening, good evening. It's Ben Cunningham sitting in for Rob Pritchard this evening on Friday Sport Preview. Coming up tonight, well, it's the Commonwealth Games, so it's everything about the Commonwealth Games. Welcome to Friday Sport. And we are first going to get underway this evening by looking at bowls and the Isle of Man team that are taking part in the bowls as well. Ahead of yesterday's opening ceremony, first up was Mark McGray in the men's singles. And then in the duo, it was Paula Garrett and Caroline Whitehead in the women's pairs. There's still plenty more for them and their other teammate, Michael Collister, to get involved in over the coming days. Speaking ahead of going to the Commonwealth Games, Manx Radio caught up with the team and they were telling us about how much they're looking forward to taking part against some of the big names in this sporting world.
It's superb, to be fair. It's been a long, hard drawn-out process really to get us all selected. I'm sure everybody else who knows that goes through that kind of process, that trying to achieve a position in the Commonwealth Games team. It's difficult when you're fighting all other sports. So to be able to put bowls on the map as after we missed out for Birmingham altogether is unprecedented for us as a club, really.
And Michael, you know what it's like to compete internationally in the sport as well. So the fact that you're coming up against some of the best in the world in something like this, no disrespect, of course, to what else you do throughout each season, but to be coming up against some of the best, how exciting a prospect is that?
Yeah, it's something that you don't typically do day to day in bowls. We've actually drawn some huge names in bowls in our group. We've specifically drawn Scotland, so playing them boys that have won multiple gold medals on the home turf is going to be a privilege.
I imagine it could be a very noisy crowd at times if you're up against the home nation of the home nations. Paula, you were actually one of the later additions to the team as well, so I guess what was that like getting that? I don't know whether it was a call, a text or an email or whatever, but how was that to get that call up to say, hey, could you come to Glasgow with us?
Over the moon. I didn't expect to at all. A wild card, yeah, just didn't expect it. So yes, really chuffed to be picked. Absolute privilege.
Now, Caroline, you and everyone else are just on quite a general sense. You're all very active in bowls throughout the year around everything else you do. The fact that you're able to practice regularly in somewhere like the NSC and take part in your competitions on and off island around the games as well, does that help you personally? Does it help the team, the fact that you can just keep that rhythm up, you can keep playing?
It is great having the facility here down at the NSC and being able to come down. They've been very good and allowed us to come down at any time to practice, other than when it's being used, which has been a great help to us. It really has. And yeah, it keeps that momentum going. We've all had to stop any other sports that we were doing, so we're just basically concentrating on this for the last at least 3 weeks.
Now, Mark, again, quite a general question, really. This is just mainly for those who may be listening and maybe don't know the ins and outs of the bowl side of things, because there are different disciplines. There's different little variations on them as well. So on the indoor bowls side of things, could you just explain quite generally, don't have to go into too many specifics if you don't want to, but the differences between indoor and the other disciplines, and I suppose what makes it a good sport, indoor bowls?
Yeah, bowls, it's got very many different kind of categories, really. Obviously, Crown Green is incredibly popular on the Isle of Man. Lawn bowls, which is the format that we're playing, is the least popular, but it's the internationally recognised version of the sport. The key differences are that you're playing with, in a singles, 4 bowls, or in pairs we're playing with 3 bowls each. You get a target to hit that, and it's more of a tactical game for me. It's completely different from playing lawn bowls outdoors. You got far different things to think about in here. It's quicker. You've got to be more consistent. It can change with its speed in terms of the air conditioning and all the rest, and the atmosphere that's there, the heat in the building. So you really got to pick up your game and be far more focused in the indoor environment in order to perform at that top level.
Michael, just a little bit on that as well from your side of things. What makes a good bowls player, do you think? What are the key strengths you need to have, not just for something like the Commonwealth Games, but in this discipline in general?
Yeah, I think to be a top bowls player, you've got to be consistent. So there's obviously a level of like technical skill and hand-eye coordination and things like that. Most people can do that, but you've got to be able to do it every ball you play, and that's what differentiates top players to social bowlers.
Consistency the key. And Paul, a little bit off, Mark was saying there about the fact that it's a hugely popular sport on the Isle of Man, not just having the likes of the NSC but the respective clubs around the island. How good is that to see outside of something like the Commonwealth Games, that it's not just the number of people that are getting involved as well, but the accessibility to it around the Isle of Man?
Yeah, it's great. We've got fantastic facilities on the Isle of Man. The NSC is brilliant, but you've also got plenty of Crown Green bowls, and you've got the lawn bowls at Onken as well. So that helps, and there's no age limit. So with children playing, we have right up to people in their 90s. So there is no age barrier to this sport, really.
Absolutely. And Caroline, from your perspective, just to give people, again, a little bit of an insight into the sport itself throughout the year as well. So for you personally, again, you could be as specific or general as you want about this, but in terms of the competitions you do throughout the year on and off island, what are some of the key ones you take part in?
Well, to be perfectly honest, Crown was always my key sport, but you can only compete in Crown in the UK. What moving over to the lawn bowls has enabled me to do is to compete internationally, which I've been able to do. And I went to the World Championships in Australia earlier on this year, and I'm off to the Europeans again in September in Wales. So it does give you far more opportunity, and both sports can be played together. They complement each other. So yeah, it's great. It's great to have that opportunity as an older person.
Rob Pritchard there, catching up with Team Isle of Man bowling team, Mark McGree and Paula Garrett, Caroline Whitehead and Michael Colster ahead of the Commonwealth Games. Coming up next, we're going to look at what's been going on today in the swimming pool.
The countdown to the next Isle of Man general election is officially on. On Thursday, the 24th of September, you'll get to have your say on who you think should represent you in the House of Keys. And here at Manx Radio, we've got all the information you need to help you make your choice. We'll be playing out our full interviews with all the candidates each weekday from just before 11:30, and they'll also be available as podcasts shortly after broadcast, and you can watch them on our YouTube channel. And don't forget, for everything you need to know about the upcoming election, you can head to our dedicated website. Just go to manxradio.com to find out more.
Manx Radio Sport, brought to you by the Print Shed. Visit theprintshediom.com today to set up your personalised web shop for your sports club or business.
And it's 22 minutes to 7 here on Friday Sport Preview. Ben Cunningham sitting in for Rob Pritchard this week. 3 Manx swimming records have been broken in Glasgow at the Commonwealth Games today, and also a solo and team record. And a number of personal bests have also been set as well. The first record to fall today was in the men's 50 metres backstroke, where Harry Robinson set a new time with 26.16 seconds as he finished 6th in his heat. That time puts him in a reserve space in his class for tonight's semi-final. Less than an hour later, the women's 4x100 metre freestyle relay team of Ellie Justice, Kira Patience, Lauren Dennett and Livy Curfey shattered the Manx record by 9 seconds and came home in fourth. In 4 minutes, 1.51 seconds. Rob caught up with the team when he broke the news to them about their new record.
So I'm joined now by the Isle of Man women's 4x100 metre freestyle relay team, who've, I think it's fair to say, have had a very good session. So Kira, I don't know if you know already, but you've all just smashed the Manx record. How does that feel?
Well, that's really good. I think we've got a really good team here, so nice to be able to do that on the Commonwealth stage.
Well, yeah, it's just over a 4:01, so you've just broken the Manx record by over 9 seconds there. So,
wow, that's crazy.
Libby, you're not thinking about that. You're not necessarily looking at the time when you're going as well. So I suppose, for the likes of yourselves and Lauren and I suppose Ella to an extent as well, for a first time, that's a nice thing to end the first first morning session on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Just to do it as part of a team, and like Kira said, at this stage, it's amazing. Yeah.
Now, Ella, we've not had a chance to catch up with you before, but you represented the Isle of Man at the Commonwealth Youth Games back in 2023. Of course, it is your first swim on day one, but from what you've seen so far, how does this compare to the Youth Games a few years ago?
Well, it's obviously there's a lot more bigger names, and I would say you can definitely tell it's the seniors compared to the junior one, but yeah, no, it's really good to do that in the first session in the morning. Yeah, it's really good.
Short and sweet. Thank you very much. See you soon.
And then moments later, the men's 4x100 metre team took part and they broke a record as well. Peter Allen, Magnus Kelly, Harry Robinson and Joel Watson scored 3 minutes 24.69 seconds, breaking the previous Manx record for that race by 2 seconds. Rob caught up with them about the news as well.
So we're joined now at what is the end of the morning / afternoon session for Team Isle of Man in the swimming, the men's 4x100 metre freestyle relay team. Joel, I'm actually going to come to you first. I don't know if you know this at the moment, but you've all just set a new Manx record.
Yeah, we did see the time coming through. Looking at each leg go through, everyone seems to be on their PBs, so what a better way to put it together. So yeah, we've just come fourth in that heat. There's one more heat going on right now, so we're sort of just waiting, but I think we've put ourselves in a good place, so we'll hopefully get another swim in that final session later.
Yeah, just have to wait and see, but yeah, by around 2 seconds you broke the Manx record, so that's both relay teams breaking Manx records this morning. Fantastic. Magnus, coming to you, obviously your Commonwealth Games debut. Obviously it's swim one of the first day, but you know, how have you found it out there?
Yeah, I mean, just walking into the place this morning, very nervous, very excited, but really happy to get that first swim gone, and I'm really happy with how it went, and really proud of the team this morning. So.
Now, Peter, it's actually been a while since we last caught up with you. I think the last time was the Ireland Games in Guernsey in 2023. Of course, you couldn't make the Games in Orkney last summer, but great to see you back in Isle of Man colours. How does it feel to be back?
Yeah, it's lovely. Like, it's honestly such a privilege to swim for the Isle of Man. Like, it's always my favourite thing to do, really, in swimming. So, you know, coming back and being able to race with leads odds again, it's just class.
And finally, Harry, to you. So that's an individual and a relay Manx record today to go with your 50 metre one as well. So not a bad first day, is it, at the moment?
It's not a bad first day, no. Hopefully we get another swim later, like Joel said, and do it again. And then hopefully just keep improving throughout the week.
Brilliant. Gentlemen, thanks very much for your time. All the best.
Thank you.
And there were personal bests for Kieran Patience in the women's 400 metre freestyle, 4 minutes 32.94 seconds. Charlie Foster in the men's 50 metre backstroke, 28.22 seconds. And Zach Bellhouse in the men's 100 metre backstroke, 1 minute 9.31 seconds. Of course, you can keep right up to date with everything going on at the Commonwealth Games. It's been a very successful day in the swimming pool. You can find the latest on our live blog on manxradio.com and across our social media channels.
Start your Saturday the right way with the Saturday Breakfast Club on Manx Radio every Saturday morning from 6 until 8. Wake up to great music, good company, and keep up to date with local events from across the island. Plus, just before 7 o'clock, don't miss the Get Up and Go track, guaranteed to kickstart your weekend. The Saturday Breakfast Club, proudly sponsored by Isle of Man Creameries. And remember, Saturdays start better when we wake up together.
Cunningham, the nation station, Manx Radio.
16 minutes to 7. Let's move on. And there are several sports yet to get underway in Glasgow. Amongst the athletes in the squad that have gone across to Glasgow in the athletics, which kicks off on Monday and runs until Saturday, the 1st of August. The Isle of Man has 5 competitors in the athletics squad for 2026. Experienced heads of Ollie Lockley, David McMulty, and debuts as well for Christian Kane, Reagan Corran, and Jack Kimraid. As the athletics team prepared to get started, we caught up with Ollie Lachlan and Reagan Corran and the athletics manager for Team Isle of Man, Steve Partington.
Yeah, I think just obviously being able to compete with the Isle of Man at this level is really important, and you know, also with the home nations all being split up into their individual countries, I think that gives a nice sort of domestic level of competition. But yeah, I think it just, you know, being able to compete further afield against other athletes is really important, especially for people like us living on the Isle of Man.
And Regan, for yourself, it's going to be a debut, one of 2 athletics debutants, if you like, going to Glasgow this summer. So leading up to this summer, how have things been for you? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I feel really good. I've had a really good indoor season. I had a slightly poor season last year on my own high standards, but I've seemed to put that right so far, so hopefully I'll just keep pushing on.
Steve, particularly the newer athletes, if you like, to the Commonwealth Games, like Regan and of course Ollie here has experience. What are the biggest differences, if indeed there are any, that the Commonwealth Games provides, not just in terms of the level of athlete that you're going to be coming up against, but how you prepare, how you adapt to what goes on? I mean, are there any particular changes that it offers outside of what they do already?
Well, not really. These guys are used to operating at a high level, so it's more of the same. I think the only difference for us is probably that you're actually in that environment for a week or whatever it is, so it's quite focused and it's easy to get sort of drawn into everyone else's games, so you just have to keep a level head, and just it's another competition. It's just that we're in that sort of environment for a week leading up to it, or up to a week. So yeah, that's the only difference really.
And Ollie, from your side of things, everyone has their own way of dealing with it, I guess, and adapting to it, but obviously you've got to deal with the grandeur, the spectacle of the games, as well as you just trying to do your job out on the track or on the road if you're doing a longer distance event in other times. How do you kind of get yourself into that sort of, I suppose, mindset, as it were, to kind of block out all the noise and just try and do your thing at an event of this size?
Yeah, I think obviously the track element is a bit more stressful psychologically, especially being in a stadium with lots of people looking at you the whole time. But I think just trying to just at the end of the day, it's just running, and just trying to simplify it in your own head, for me personally, is quite important. And then just trying to just pretend like I'm just down at the NSC training like I normally do. It just so happens that it's at the Commonwealth Games, so just trying to treat it as another day at the office, really.
Now, Regan, from your side of things, I've seen you previously at the Ireland Games. You're geeing up the crowd on plenty an occasion in the likes of Guernsey and Orkney as well. Do you thrive off that, or is that just part of the routine for you, I guess?
Yeah, I quite like the noise and the extra pressure that comes with it. I think it pushes me on a bit. I think it gets me in the right mind frame to go out there and prove everyone right or wrong, depending on what they're saying. But yeah, I really enjoy it.
And Steve, obviously where we're speaking now down at the NSC, and obviously I'm sure people could probably hear it in the background, we've got an athletic session going on here, but when you actually look at some of the facilities that the Isle of Man has, not just this athletics track, but you've obviously got the complex through there, what's around the island as well, are we quite fortunate here on the Isle of Man to have some of the facilities and some of the coaching expertise that we have here throughout the year?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think before 1994, when we didn't have the track, things were always difficult for us. We've got a track facility, we've got plenty of really good coaches, and you can see it just sort of fosters a great atmosphere and a great sport, really. And these guys are sort of the pinnacle of that sport on the island, but there's plenty of people underneath them. You need that big pyramid, you need the base to be wide so that these guys can get as high as they can, and it's working really well at the minute.
And Ollie, you're one of many who's been coming through the system on the Isle of Man, still part of it, of course, as well. So, over the years, when you've been given these opportunities and you've had the chance to train and compete in places like this as well, do you see it maybe not just for yourself but for other athletes as well, how much they can excel and progress given what we have here on the island?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's easy to think the grass is greener elsewhere, and you have to be a way to improve, and I think that can be true, but also we're really fortunate to have the facilities we have here, and obviously even the Sir Mark Cavendish Raceway as well, which I do a lot of my training around. Like the fact it's a measured 800 metre loop, I think that would be the envy of a lot of places in the UK. So just things like that, and obviously for my sport, just living on the Isle of Man, there's so many nice routes and places to run that, I don't think I'd want to be elsewhere doing it, really.
Can be sport for choice at times. And Regan, you've had plenty of off-island experience. Of course, you've represented Great Britain on a couple of occasions, more recently at under-20 level as well. When you're competing at that level, for the likes of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, does that, in the long term, and especially going into the summer and the games that's coming up, does that help continue to raise the bar for you personally, given that you're already coming up against strong opposition, if you like?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think being around in that environment just pushes you on and gets you to places that you wouldn't have been otherwise. But I actually made the decision to move back here. I kind of went against what everyone was saying in September, and I've come on so much that I think if you want it enough, you can get wherever you want, wherever you are in the world.
10 to 7 coming up, we're going to look at cycling.
Get the full story. Tune in to Manx Radio's newscast for in-depth interviews behind the headlines. Find the newscast now at manxradio.com or your usual podcast provider.
Every Saturday morning here on Manx Radio from 10 o'clock, join Kiri Kermode and myself, Simon Clark, for the Saturday Sandwich.
We'll have the weekend traffic and travel, the What Song Guide.
Also the very popular Likeable Lyric.
We'll have 2 classic tracks from the 70s and 80s.
All fun and frolics and good music on a Saturday morning with Kiri and Clarky from 10.
Are you sure that script says frolics?
Manx Radio Sport, brought to you by the Print Shed. Visit theprintshediom.com today to set up your personalised web shop for your sports club or business.
And then finally, we are going to look at cycling. 2 of the top island riders are going to be going to Glasgow to represent the Isle of Man. Matthew Bostock and Ben Swift not only are continuing to excel in the professional level, but also continuing to come into the games on good form. Rob Pritchard caught up with them ahead of the games.
Matthew Bostock joins us, and he's going to be one of 2 Isle of Man athletes represented in track cycling, along with Ben Swift. So, Matthew, of course, you've had some success on the track this year, and of course, you've got your exploits on the roads as well. 4 years have passed since Birmingham, since the last games. How much are you looking forward to pulling back on the Isle of Man jersey in Glasgow?
No, I really can't wait. Obviously, the last games didn't go to plan for me. I had a really tough time with the crash that was well documented. But no, I'm just kind of I've obviously not been counting down the days, but it does feel like I've been waiting for this opportunity, and hopefully I can turn things around this time.
That was 4 years ago. That's long behind you now. You've had so much has gone on since then on both the road and the track as well, but. From the Isle of Man side of things, you and Ben Swift are going to be there, of course, without having to put any ultimatums out there. How confident are you in both of your abilities, really, to put in some strong showings in Glasgow?
No, I think, obviously you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but I think with the 2 of us, we've got a really, really good chance of at least a couple medals, hopefully some gold ones. But no, I think between us, we've got 3 British titles this year out of 4. So obviously Britain's one of the stronger nations normally at the games. In terms of obviously England, Scotland, Wales. So I think if you say on paper that we're the best in Britain, then that obviously gives us a really good chance.
Absolutely, as you referenced there, British titles, and of course separately on the roads as well. You've enjoyed success in recent crit races and earlier in the season as well. You mentioned previously as well that you feel like you may be in a bit of a sweet spot with some of your form at the moment. How important is that to you going into something like the games in Glasgow?
Yeah, it's really important. I think mostly just the confidence. I normally find in this spell when I start to get success in the crits and around July, June time, the confidence obviously breeds more success, and it puts you in a good place to not be worrying about, extra training or whether you need to do more or less. You just kind of, you take confidence from where you're at, and you know that the form's good, and you can really relax a bit and go into it knowing that you've got the chance to do well. So I think it set myself up for a really good games.
In terms of, if you were to get a good result, perhaps even a medal in Glasgow, what would it mean, not just to you personally, but what do you think it would mean to the Isle of Man if you were to get a result like that?
I think, I don't think I can really put it into words. It's kind of overwhelming to think about how it would feel or response if I was to win a medal. So I think I'll park that for now and hopefully deal with it if it comes when it comes. But I've grown up watching cycling and it's kind of been my whole life, but my very first memory is watching Cav win the scratch race all them years ago. So it's something that's kind of etched in my brain as almost my first goal or first thing that I thought maybe was possible as someone from the Isle of Man at the highest level, really. So it would just be incredible.
Ben, first of all, of course, it's been a while since we last caught up with you. How have you been over the last couple of years, and how have things gone generally?
Yeah, time flies, doesn't it? Can't believe it's quite 4 years ago, but there we are. No, everything's been going good, to be honest. I think I've been pretty consistent. Had a couple of big injuries, broke my scapula last year, so I missed the tour in the end. And then I actually broke my pelvis earlier this year, which put a bit of a damper down on the preparation for the Commonwealth Games. But I seem to have made a pretty quick recovery. I've done a couple of races now as well with the team and had a little break again. So preparation is, at the minute, as good as possible.
How does it feel to be pulling on the Isle of Man jersey again this summer?
No, it's fantastic. When this idea came about getting back on the track, I kind of spoke with the team already with the idea of getting back on the track, and then I was just talking with Bocky quite a bit, and obviously he's had a really big focus on that track. So I think I've done as much work as possible fitting it in with the road commitments, because actually I think the track is where I grew up and it's where I got most of my early success. And I think it's so valuable for the road side of stuff. So it's actually been a bit of a blessing in disguise doing the preparation, getting back on the track, getting that leg speed into the old legs again. And it's been great. And I think with myself and Bocky, we've only obviously got 2 riders. Some nations will have 3, but I think Bocky's shown that he's in great form. He's had this earmarked for a long time, and obviously I want to race the best races that I possibly can, but I'm also there to support Bocky because I think he's in a very good chance of getting some good results. So if it doesn't work out for me, I'll be giving it everything for Bocky.
You've both claimed national titles in so far on the track this season as well. So going into this for both of you, not individually and collectively, just how confident are you both that you can put in some strong performances coming up against some of the best in the world?
No, definitely. I think we can be really confident. I know Bocky is a fantastic track rider, and he's been going really well on the crits. So his form is coming up nicely now. Perfect timing, really. And I think he's going to do the IP, whereas I'll just focus on the bunch races. So I definitely think we can be challenging for good results.
And that is about everything here on Friday Sport Preview. Michelle Kane is standing by next to take over with Greatest Hits. Sweet and Swing at 9 o'clock with Howard Kane. And then Rhiann Evans, I think you'll need to do a welfare check on her after the home run today. She'll be here from 10 o'clock. Don't forget, you can keep up to date with everything at Glasgow on the Manx Radio blog. Thanks for listening. Catch you all again next week.
Manx Radio Sport, brought to you by the Print Shed. Visit theprintshediom.com today to set up your personalised web shop for your sports club or business.